Recently, I received a letter from a young lady who went on a long, dark journey, a journey that ultimately led her into moral transgression. She writes as follows: "A few months ago, I realized I must go to the bishop of my ward and confess the terrible things I had done. I did so knowing that my sins were grievous before the Lord, that I faced possible disfellowshipment or even excommunication. I also knew the time had come to put myself and my life into the Lord's hands, that I might be able to cleanse my sins and stand spotless before Him on the judgment day. I made an appointment one Sunday afternoon with the bishop. He took time out of his busy schedule to hear of my terrible transgressions. Oh, how I prayed to my Heavenly Father before that interview. The bishop was kindly. He asked that I have courage to tell him everything, that I would not hold anything back. As I tried to touch lightly on my transgressions, I couldn't. A horrible tightening in my throat and chest made it impossible for me to go on. I suddenly knew it was the answer to my prayers. The Spirit of our Father in heaven was with me, demanding complete confession. I bear witness that I felt the Spirit constraining me to tell the whole truth. It isn't easy to admit one's past sins, even to ourselves. I found that it was as hard for me to admit the exact nature of my sins to myself as it was to admit them to the bishop. I didn't want to think about them. After my confession, the bishop commended me on taking the first step towards returning to my Heavenly Father and outlined additional steps to prepare me for the day when I would realize that I had truly been forgiven. He emphasized that he himself could not forgive me. That was the Lord's decision. He helped me to understand that I could be forgiven, that my Heavenly Father loves me, that I could gain an awareness of my future goals and not constantly condemn myself all my life, thus halting my eternal progression. He asked me to read The Miracle of Forgiveness by President Spencer W. Kimball. A great deal in making me aware of the process of forgiveness was obtained from that book. We had several appointments, the bishop and I, so that we could help find my course towards reestablishing myself in good standing in the church. Following my interview, I found myself alternating between depression, which I wondered if I'd ever be forgiven, being lax in doing the things I was doing. I had learned that to change isn't easy. It takes time, and one must learn to try and try again.